Prominent social activists arrived to Chattanooga for MLK Day 2024, and fellow Mocs landed on ice at Ice on the Landing's last week of operation this winter. This and more. I'm Gabby Shelton, and your news starts now. Daughters of renowned civil rights activists came to the scenic city. Dr. Bernice King and Dr. Ilyasa Shabazz, social activists in their own right, discussed the legacy of their fathers, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, respectively. The pair agreed that there is more to be done concerning equal voting rights, poverty, and racial disparities in systems and institutions. Their discussion was on the legacy of leadership and service. Let's take a look.
I couldn't file an EEOC complaint because it wasn't a way to do it in the 50s and 60s, or discrimination lawsuits. Yes. Most of us would be beaten upside the head trying to register to vote in the South. To register, not just vote, register. So please, let's not mistake where we are today. We are not where we used to be, but we could be if we keep sleeping on it.
Malcolm said, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and you pull it out 6 inches, the knife is still in my back.
Right.
And so he said, but look at, don't you think that we've made a lot of progress? And now I'm listening to Dr. King, and she's right. We have made some progress. But last night I said, I don't think you heard me. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and you pull it out 6 inches, the knife is still in my back. If you pull the knife all the way out, that's not progress because there's an open wound. Progress is made in healing the wound that the blow made. We cannot continue to fall for these divisive tactics. Malcolm and Martin, they served God. They were doing it for the mass of oppressed people around the world. There are more oppressed people than there are non-oppressed. So imagine if we came together. Imagine if we came together what we really can accomplish.
Housing and Residence Life recently hosted the opportunity to hear from 2 special guests associated with the smash hit musical Come From Away. The musical is based on the true story of Newfoundland welcoming plane passengers who were displaced on 9/11. The guests were passenger Kevin Turf, whose story and contributions inspired the musical, and actor Sean Smith, who portrays Kevin in the performance. The guests talked about their personal experiences with 9/11, their lives after the event, and the musical's history. Select UTC students could then ask questions to the guests, including Sean's process of portraying a fiction version of a real man that witnessed firsthand the 9/11 airplane diversions. It was a wonderful opportunity for the students to learn more about the guests, the musical, and its ultimate message of paying kindness and empathy forward.
I'm Cassandra Castillo, and I'm here with the Marching Mocs of UTC, who just recently were in the United Kingdom for London's New Year Parade. Tell me a little bit about what you play and your name, of course.
Okay, my name is Colton Brown, and I play the snare drum.
Okay.
My name is Trevor Kite. I played the 4th bass drum.
I'm Evan Wilcox, and I play bass 2.
Awesome. Well, let's start off with the first question. How did you all prepare for the march across London's West End? It's like 2 miles. How did you come to do that?
Well, we just practiced in the parking lot. We just marched for what was 2 miles in the practice field over there, and we just did turns and went around in circles just trying to prepare for the long 2 miles that we had to do.
We had about a month break between our last practice and the march. So when I was home, I tried to walk around my neighborhood, and try to just eat better food, not sit on my couch all day.
Drink water, that was important.
A lot of standing and waiting, a lot of moving and waiting. Biggest performance of our lives, I bet. Lots of anticipation for that.
Awesome. Well, The London Parade attracts millions of spectators and hundreds of millions of viewers worldwide. Like, what is it that you feel when you came to know that you were being watched by all these people?
It was when I was going through the parade, I wasn't really able to think about, oh, I'm being watched. Besides, like the people who are like on the sides, like I know there was probably millions of people watching me through the camera, but I was so focused on like just finishing the parade, getting through, that I wasn't able to really process, oh, I'm being seen by more people than I ever will in my life.
Yeah, I was the exact same way. Like I was so zoned in to like play correctly and just get through it. I kind of had tunnel vision of just like, okay, I'm just on a road walking and playing.
And when you're doing that for an hour, you just, like there's the initial shock of like what I'm doing, but then it's like you get settled in pretty well because we were there for like an hour marching, so you get settled into it pretty well.
Yeah.
Nice. And as you said, tunnel vision, but you're walking through all these amazing London views. What was it like being in that position?
It was weird because like we had a full tour of London, like multiple tours, but we were always on a bus. So it was weird like seeing all the streets empty and it's just us in the streets. I felt like surreal being like I'm in a different country playing bass drum for my college. It was I felt really surreal just being like near historical sites playing music.
Yeah, when it was over, we crossed Big Ben and everything was just empty, and it was like, you know, we came back a few days before that and like everything was packed when the bell was ringing and everything. So that was weird to see, but you know, definitely a cool experience.
And what did your families think? Like friends, families, were they watching? Were they there?
From what I know, all my family make sure they got up. My family, my girlfriend, all try to make sure they watch it, try to support me.
Yeah, it was live on PBS, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone was watching.
It was like 6 a.m., but you know, they all try to support us.
Yeah,
so.
they were there for you.
Yeah.
Well, and I know my parents were really scared because this is the first time I was like flying like ever, like, and this is the first time out of the country. So they were like, I don't know, but yeah, they were really supportive. So it was really fun.
Yeah. And with it being the first place you went by plane, how was that experience? Was that everything you imagined and more?
Well, it was really cool. It was just really surreal, like just being in a vehicle and then just like, oh, I'm in the air now, and I'm going somewhere that's across the sea. Like it was really it was weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was really weird, like just feeling the vehicle getting like pushed off.
Whenever I've flown to Germany before I went on a trip, but on the way there I slept the entire time. I wasn't able to sleep this time, and it felt weird because the turbulence makes it feel like you're on a bus, and I was in the middle seat, so I couldn't see out the window, so it felt like I was just in a bus. Then I look on the map, I'm just above the Atlantic Ocean, so it felt really weird saying all that.
Yeah.
And having that experience.
Yeah, and the flight itself was really good. I've flown to other states, but the quality of the flight, it was like they had TV screens and stuff we could entertain ourselves with, lots of leg room and things like that. So yeah.
You could actually see the plane from like a camera outside.
Yeah, you can see the camera
it was
view
really
outside.
cool.
Yeah.
And last question, outside of all of the band things, what was y'all's favorite part about coming or going to London?
I would say I visited the Tower of London, saw the Crown Jewels, boat tour on the River Thames. All of that was pretty neat that whole day. That was about like half a day after breakfast, before lunch. Knocked all that out pretty quick. So that was probably my favorite part.
My favorite was walking with the rest of the percussion, like exploring a different country, riding the train, trying new foods. Like I tried Indian food for the first time. It was really cool. It was just like nice seeing something so different from America, where like, you know, I have to drive everywhere, but there, you know, I would walk 5 feet and I'm already at like 4 different shops. So it was just like seeing a new city with different culture with all my friends was my favorite part.
Yeah, my favorite part was just seeing all the like beautiful buildings that they had.
Yeah.
I know we have beautiful buildings here in America, but like it was just so surreal seeing all these amazing like buildings and the Big Ben and everything. And just being with like a bunch of people I love and like love music and, you know, love being a part of this group and being somewhere most of us have probably never been to before, and just that new environment. It was just really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to stay tuned for what comes next for you all. I mean, London Parade, what else? But
Mars.
Could be.
Mars, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been this edition of Mocs News.
President Joe Biden won New Hampshire's Democratic primary with 64% of the votes as a write-in candidate. The current president gained an endorsement from the United Auto Workers Union Wednesday, a union with over 1 million voters signaling a boost to his re-election bid from swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Former President Donald Trump led the New Hampshire primaries, securing his position as Republican nominee, with 54% of the votes in his favor. Despite falling behind Trump in Iowa and New Hampshire, nominee Nikki Haley remains in the race. In a notable case, the parents of a school shooter are facing trial for involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say Jennifer and James Crumbly, who made a gun accessible to their son, Ethan Crumbly, and ignored his mental health needs. The day of the shooting, they declined to take him home after coming into the school regarding his violent drawings. Crumbly Sr. awaits trial in March. Meanwhile, now 17-year-old Ethan Crumbly faces life in prison for taking the lives of 4 students and wounding 7 at Michigan's Oxford High School in 2021. In another shooting case, U.S. prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for the white supremacist that killed 10 in Buffalo, New York in 2022. This racially motivated attack marks the first time President Biden's administration initiates capital punishment proceedings, a punishment he campaigned against in the 2020 presidential race. The U.S. says it will continue to strike Houthi militants, a Yemen group that has continuously attacked commercial shipping in the Red Sea, which has disrupted global shipping. Houthis' attacks are in solidarity with Palestinians as the Israel-Hamas war persists. On Tuesday, the U.S. began another set of strikes on Iraq militia sites and anti-ship missiles in Yemen, on top of the 8 rounds they fired since January 11th, alongside the UK with support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands. In a statement by U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Austin says the strikes are in response to a series of escalatory attacks against U.S. and coalition personnel in Iraq and Syria by Iranian-sponsored militias. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudan says the strikes blatantly violate Iraq's sovereignty and contribute to an irresponsible escalation. 20% more of Greenland's ice sheet has melted than previously believed. This was found in a new study published by the Nature journal. Although it does not directly add to sea level rise, it still adds much fresh water to the ocean, potentially weakening the system of ocean currents that includes the Gulf Stream. This stream brings tropical water to the southeast coast of the U.S. and across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, according to the New York Times.
After all the rain these past few weeks, we can only expect sunny skies, right? Well, it looks like January showers will only bring February clouds because our scenic sun just does not want to shine through. Today we'll see a high of 66, lows will reach 52 tonight. We'll see 12% chance of precipitation, move up to 60% chance later tonight. This weekend will bring a high of 61 and temperatures with 100% chance of rain. That will drop to 46 on Sunday alongside cloudy skies. We can only say goodbye to the cold temperatures for this week because Monday welcomes a high of 49 with partially sunny skies that will continue through Thursday. Tuesday will be 57 and Wednesday will be 49. If you plan on traveling, make sure those windshield wipers are working because it will rain all of Saturday, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s across the board. Back to you, Gabby.
The Academy Awards nominations were announced, and the list of nominees has pleasantly surprised us as much as it has disappointed. Oppenheimer, as expected, rolls in with 13 nominations, followed by Poor Things with 11. Lily Gladstone of The Killers of the Flower Moon becomes the first Native American to be nominated for Best Actress. Despite getting 8 nominations, audiences say Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie were snubbed of Oscars for Barbie. Ryan Gosling was nominated for his role of Ken. About his co-stars, Gosling said, "To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement." Visit mocsnews.com for the full list of nominees. WWE Raw is moving to Netflix in 2025. In a $5 billion deal, the live wrestling show will move to the streaming giant in January in an effort to increase the number of live shows, making it more competitive among other streaming platforms. This 10-year deal is a part of Netflix's annual $17 billion content budget, garnering its 260 million subscribers worldwide. Women's basketball is pushing through SoCon undefeated, and the men's gained their third consecutive win on the road. Noah, what else do you have for us?
Yesterday's men's basketball beat Woodford 79-65. The team led the contest with a 29-26 lead and held a lead as large as 20. This marks the team's third straight SoCon win on the road, which last happened during the 97-98 season. Women's basketball is taking their own SoCon road trip for a tilt against UNC Greensboro and Western Carolina. They beat UNGC yesterday with a 73-55 lead. Expect to face off against Western Carolina tomorrow. Women's tennis hosts a pair of games against North Alabama at 5 p.m. this evening and Lee University the same time on Sunday. The men's tennis are squaring off with Georgia State and Atlanta. The team is hoping to score a win after a rough start to the season. Volleyball is proud to announce transfer Shara Napoli arrivals to the team. The French native joins the Mocs after 2 seasons with North Carolina A&T. Napoli appeared in all 52 of the team's matches over her 2 seasons with the Aggies. With a high assist stat and 17 double-doubles in her career, she's expected to be an excellent addition to the team. Yesterday morning, Coach Rusty Wright agreed to a 5-season extension to his Mocs football program contract. For the past 5 years, he's found great success on both the playing field and the home zone. Chancellor Dr. Steve Engel said, "We are fortunate to have an alum with his talents in such an important role, and I am excited about the future of our football program." Finally, the Super Bowl is nearly upon us. The big game will start on February 11th, 6:30 p.m. and will air on CBS and Paramount+. The final lineup will be determined by the results of the Chiefs and Ravens game, as well as the Lions and 49ers game, both happening this weekend. Don't miss it. That's all for sports. Back to you, Gabby.
Chattanooga's ice skating attraction, Ice on the Landing, is approaching its final days. Its new location at the First Horizon Pavilion misses its Chattanooga choo-choo scenery, but provides the energy just the same. Today and tomorrow, hours range from 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. and Sunday 3 to 7 p.m. Don't miss it. The Spanish Club hosted their first meeting after a semester's hiatus. Cocoa and Chill was held in the Multicultural Center, where Mexican hot chocolate and cookies were served, and bingo was played as students practiced their Spanish skills while getting to know one another. Co-President Michaela encourages others to attend.
Hola everyone, I'm Michaela. I'm the co-president of the Spanish Club, and we accept any level, so come join us Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every other week. We accept any level, and if you want to come and improve your Spanish, come with us and join us, and we will help you improve your Spanish. Thank you.
Okay. ¿Saben cómo jugar al bingo de presentación?
Beginning in February, UTC will begin hosting FAFSA Fridays in-person and virtual workshops that assist current and future students and families in filling out the form. Stay tuned for specific locations and times. Orientation leader applications will close this Sunday, January 28th. If you have any interest in engaging with incoming Mocs and families through tours and more, consider applying at MocsSync on the new Student and Family Programs page. That is all for this edition of Mocs News. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to keep up with us on our Instagram and Facebook at Mocs News UTC. But before you go, take a look at this semester's White Coat Ceremony, a ritual that marks the students' transition to clinical health sciences. Students now begin working with patients in physical therapy. Here's a look back.